Hey everyone. So we're on our next day of conscious love of these 28 days. This is Dr. Lisa here, and I'm so glad that you're joining me. Today I want to talk about the concept of truth. So we've been moving from the physical body into the mindfulness in terms of our self-care and being conscious about our love to ourself, because the reality is that it's very hard to see it coming from someone else if we don't know it. And when I'm talking conscious love here, when I'm saying the love part, I'm talking about unconditional love. So that means regardless of how it looks, how you look, the performance you give, you don't have to like it, but you should always love yourself regardless of it. And in terms of truth, the definition of what is love that I like came from Deepak Chopra in response to Oprah Winfrey asking him, and she said, what is love? And he said, it's truth. And I think that really speaks to the idea of unconditional love, because I can tell you that I've treated a lot of women's bodies, men's bodies too, but definitely in my focus on women's health over the past 14 years or so. And it was from a place of them not being truthful to themselves for a while. Either they were waiting way too long to come get support because they didn't know, okay, or they wanted it to be a way. Usually I was after they tried other things. I'm somebody that people see when they weren't getting fully supported or didn't quite get over their chronicity of things, or they just needed a more holistic model because they only were taking part of the way through the physical stuff. So they would venture onto me and maybe like some yoga, heard something about yoga, or like that I was holistic, or working with essential oils, open to that, and nutrition, and I knew a lot of that stuff. But when we'd get to speaking, so by the time they'd come to me, they had often a lot of stories. And sometimes they were not in love. They were not in truth. So I'm going to use it in the way that Deepak had said. They were not in truth. They had denied a lot of what some of the other layers to their pain were. They had denied maybe needing a better way to speak to their partners, or that they really missed their career, or that they were having a hard time transitioning to other people's independence, like their kids. Or that they were a little bored with things that they in their job were great at one point, but now isn't lighting their fire, and they were embarrassed, or they, and it manifested in them, either being super hyper vigilant about this thing they were dealing with, which magnified it at the brain level, or ignoring their needs, ignoring themselves, always being lowest on the totem pole. And so I think today what I offer you is the challenge to see yourself in truth as a gauge, as a way to understand if you are in fact in an unconditional love relationship with yourself. So I put that out to you. And that would mean that you're able to see yourself, and you might not like what you see, but you always love it. So thank you so much. Tomorrow we'll have the next day's video, and we'll keep moving on towards 28 days of conscious love.